What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 4 of the December 2024 Portland Monthly Premodern MTG Afternoons. We got 2 brand new decks to show, so let's get in those deck lists. First up, we have Anna on what she's calling Elegant Ghoul, but most of you may know as Tin Fins. Tin Fins is a reanimation deck taking advantage of Suture Ghoul, which is a 7-mana trampler creature zombie. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. Its power and toughness are equal to the power and toughness of the exiled cards. Now you try and get this in the graveyard, as well as 2 Crossing Cloudscapers, which only really matter because they're 13/13s. You do this using Buried Alive, and then you reanimate it with a reanimation spell that gives it haste, like Corpse Dance or Shallow Grave. And that's the combo. Basically, you can nug someone on, I think, turn 2, and the deck is entirely built around that combo and finding those combo pieces. So we got lots of card draw, lots of mana acceleration, and some combo protection in the form of Duress and Unmask. Sideboard is various hate pieces, aka getting rid of artifact abilities with Null Rods, Chain of Vapors to potentially slow down your opponent, Urkel's Recalls again to deal with graveyard interaction, and just a few other bits and bobs. You also may notice that these cards are in fact tiny, and that is Anna taking the proxy-friendly nature to heart and building an entire tiny deck of Tin Fins. Very cool to see, and I can't wait to see how it plays out on camera. Next up, we have Moze on Survival Rock. This is a green-black mid-range deck using the enchantment Survival with a bunch of toolbox cards to go find the perfect answer for any situation. It's also running several recurring nightmares to get your creatures back after you've discarded them to Survival, and also just get reoccurring ETB values because there are quite a few cards that benefit from that here. Some notable includes in the toolbox is Tempting Worm, Hypnotic Spectre, which I always love to see, and Graveborn Muse, which by itself is just a decent card draw engine, but does in fact pair well with Withered Wretch, which again is a great piece to go grab for some graveyard hate. Sideboard, we have 2 more Tempting Worms, which are great against the Dreadnought matchup, 2 Tisabo's Webs, which are great against, of course, the Oath decks, 4 Naturalizes, which need no explanation, and 4 Engineered Plagues. He also has some additional toolbox Bone Shredders, Hypnotic Specters, and a 1-of Tormod's Crypt. Alright, those are the decks, so let's get into the games. Alright, we are cutting in here on Anna taking a mulligan. The Tin Fins deck does mulligan pretty aggressively. It does need at least one of its combo pieces, or at least a consistent way to find it. Limdual's Vault is in the deck and is a great way to do that. Now, Moze's deck, being more mid-range, does have ways of interacting with the combo. Alright, and one of the best ways right off the bat, Moze is going to start off with a Duress. And we see a Corpse Dance, a Duress, Dark Ritual, and some lands. And we're going to take that Corpse Dance. Alright, and thankfully we're going to play open here. Again, I mentioned this in the deck tech, and the deck is entirely proxied, which is why it is so miniature. Really cool to see this. It's going to be a little tough to call out cards on camera, potentially, so forgive me if I get a card wrong. I'm also not super familiar with the Tin Fins deck. I've only played against it once, which actually was on camera against Neon Mushroom. We did a little exhibition webcam match. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to do so. It was a ton of fun. That was also on his channel, I just remembered. So I will try to remember to do a little link up above here. Okay, so play out a land. Did Moze only keep a 1-land hand? Yes, that is getting duressed. Okay, yes, so Moze only keeping a 1-land hand, getting a little bit punished for it, does not have the mana to cast any of his mana dorks. And in fact is going to discard here. Okay, there is another land. We're going to see Withered Wretch, Moze opting for combo interaction, obviously knowing what Anna is up to. Okay, there's a Dark Ritual, 3 floating, plays out the Buried Alive, and a Shallow Grave. So there's going to be a few things that are going to happen here. We are going to get to see the combo go off. Unfortunately, Moze does not have a way to interact. Can't pay for the Withered Wretch at this point. So we're getting 1 Suture Ghoul, 2 Krauts and Cloudscapers. Now, the way these are arranged does kind of matter for Shallow Grave, but as long as you put the ghoul on top, you're all good. And yep, we're just gonna scoop here, but basically what happens is that ghoul becomes a 26, 26, swings in for the win, and we're gonna go to game number 2. All right, well, as many probably predicted, the combo deck does combo things in game number 1, pre-sideboard. Ooh, Mo's getting a Tormod's Crypt. That is a very good find. That Tempting Worm, not so good. If Anna draws any of her Crows and Cloudscapers, she could just play them off of the Tempting Worm. It looks like she will be mulliganing here. And Mo's looks like he'll be keeping. He does have his survival. He does have lands this time. Getting maybe a little bit in trouble there and not being able to interact with the combo just purely because he didn't have a land drop for turn 2. But now I see at least 3 lands and a Duress and a Tormod's Crypt. This is actually a really great hand for Mo's. That survival being able to potentially go find relevant hate pieces as well if he draws a creature discard to it that he doesn't want to cast. And we'll see if Anna is keeping a 6 here. Again, this deck does mulligan very well. You're really just trying to get enough combo, enough cards to cast a... first off, you need a Dark Ritual or some sort of mana acceleration, but you also just need to be able to cast Buried Alive and then some sort of reanimation spell. All right, leading off with Tormod's Crypt and a Forest. Say go. Now, Anna does have a lot of pieces in her sideboard that do prevent the traditional graveyard hate. Okay, we're going to fetch, showing that she had an Ancient Tomb, but is opting for the Polluted Delta. For an island. And are we going to be casting Portent off the island? Potentially. Portent being the poor man's brainstorm in this format. Notably, Mo's actually did not have black mana to cast that Duress turn 1. So off of a color, a little tough to tell with all his land arts, but yes, he is in fact not on black. Alright, and Anna choosing to shuffle here, not the cards she wants to see. Not sure what's in hand, but again, your ideal hand has, in this case, a swamp, a Dark Ritual, or maybe not a Cabal Ritual at this point. I mean, it depends if you have another swamp, I guess. A Buried Alive, and then next turn, you would want a Shallow Grave or a Corpse Dance. Alright, Mo's playing off the survival and passing. Go to Anna's turn. Next turn, he can Tempting Worm. Again, not a great plan if she does have a Cloudscaper. There are 4 in the deck. It's entirely possible to draw 1. Alright, gonna go find a swamp this time, and looks like passing. Mo's going to untap, activate the survival. Go grab a Squee, discard the Squee. Now having the value to activate survival at any point for card advantage. And are we grabbing the Withered Wretch? No, we are grabbing a Birds of Paradise. Play out his last forest and the birds. Now having access to black mana next turn. Alright, and I'm going to activate a Limdol's Vault here. Limdol's Vault, pretty complicated card. Is an instant. So we're doing this, or they're doing this at the end step, I believe. So basically, you look at the top 5 cards as many times as you choose. You may put 1 life to draw the next 5. And once you find a 5 you like, the old wording on this card is a little bit more complicated. Once you find a 5 you like, you can arrange in any order, put the rest on the bottom of the deck. Or sorry, you shuffle the bottom, or you shuffle the cards you didn't keep. That's right. Again, like I said, complicated card. So, Anna taking a lot of damage off this Limdol's Vault. Up to 6 now. Really just trying to find a hand. There's a Corpse Dance. Is that going to be worth keeping?
I hope so.
No. Okay. 7 damage. That is not going to be it either. This does functionally let you go through your entire deck. Okay, looks like we found a keepable one. Now, yeah, we got to count those out first. Then shuffle everything back in. Yes, okay. So one thing actually I'm not quite clear on. I don't think Limbo's Vault allows you to arrange the cards however you like. But I think it does. The wording is like super weird. This is one of those really old cards from, I think, Ice Age. Where in theory, if you explain it, it works well. But okay, I do think you get to rearrange them. Comments will let me know if I'm wrong, obviously. Bo sitting on double duress here. Or wait, is that triple duress? Potentially having back to back to back hate pieces for this combo. Yes, 3 duresses in hand. Alright, needing that black mana. If he can rip a swamp, double duressing next turn could be backbreaking. I'm not sure what... I think it... Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what was exactly in hand there, but... Okay. See if we can combo out this turn. This is essentially the window to combo out. Ancient Tomb. Null Rod. That is one of those sideboard pieces that you really want to see. And just passing, unfortunately. Alright, Bo's remembering to grab the squee. Did pull the Withered Wretch off the top, but does not have the double black to cast it. Alright, we see a Buried Alive, a Shallow Grave, a Chain of Vapor, yes, okay, and a Swamp. Alright, pitching the squee. What are we going to find here? We just find another Birds to get more black mana. He hasn't played a land this turn, so he could play out the Wall Blossoms hoping to hit a land. He could also get a Tempting Worm. He can cast it and knows that there's nothing in hand. Although it will probably just get Chain of Vapored. Potentially. After taking so much damage off of the Limdol's Vault. Life total actually will matter in this matchup, I think. Okay, so that is the plan. We're going to grab a Tempting Worm. Play it out. Suddenly on a 2-turn clock, and whatever cards were on top of Limdol's Vault are going to matter here. Okay, it is going to get Chain of Vapored.
I can respond to Chain of Vapor. Or I get to copy Chain of Vapor. Chain of Vapor. Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I don't know what the question was exactly, but maybe deciding if he wanted to bounce something of his own by sacking a land. Could bounce the Null Rod, but no real reason to crack the Tormod's Crypt now. You only want to do that when the Suja Ghoul trigger is on the stack, or I guess when you cast the Corpse Dance or Shallow Grave would be the best time. Alright, Mo's getting his squee back, drawing for turn. There's another Swamp. Okay. Second Duress. Limdol's Vault in response.
Just shuffle. Did you already get the
Not sure. That was Limdwell's fault, right? I'm not sure why they were searching. Okay, so a little bit of a rules violation there. Okay, looking at the top 5. Doesn't like it. Pay 1. Top 5 again. Lots of dark rituals. And a buried alive. And not good enough either. Alright. Next 5. Going down to 7. Getting in the danger zone for sure. One tempting worm swing is eventually just going to be enough. Alright, there's buried alive. Looks like we are going to keep that one. Okay. Alright, shallow grave will hit the bin thanks to the duress. And it looks like we're putting a buried alive on top and then a portent. But it doesn't look like there's a reanimation spell. So the buried alive should resolve. And then portent to shuffle because you know what the next 3 cards are. Okay, discarding squee. Is now when we get the Withered Wretch. Just for extra. Oh no, we're going to get the Utabi Orangutan. Cast it, blow up, and that is going to be a scoop, and we're going to go to game number 3. Alright, here we are in game number 3. Moses deck doing what it does best, having the toolbox answers to the combo deck. A little bit of spoilers. I did play Mose in a round. I won't tell you which round. And I was on Mono Blue Dreadnought. I was wanting to spike an event for once. I've top 8'd and top 4'd a bunch, but never made it past the semifinals. I thought this would be the deck to do it. Let's try it out. It was right before the Sin City Open, which had that Premodern tournament. Wanted to get a few reps in. And boy, does he have a lot of answers for Dreadnought. A lot of answers for every deck, really. I think if you go back to the deck tech in this video, you'll notice he does have really just toolbox responses for everything. Tempting Worm actually being very good in that matchup. Unsurprisingly, you don't want to be playing out a Dreadnought to the Tempting Worm trigger if you don't have Stifle or Vision Charm in hand, or the mana open to play it. Ooh, there's a Cabal Therapy. Alright, so Anna on the play. Bo's having turn 1 hand interaction. Does he have the wombo combo of the duress first, though? More importantly, what do you name with your first Cabal Therapy blind? Do you name Buried Alive? Ooh, Unmask. Alright, 2 Cabal Therapies. 1 Reoccurring Nightmare, 1 Wall Blossoms. So Wall Blossoms being able to come out next turn. Okay, taking the Reoccurring Nightmare. Makes sense. There's a Portent. None of those looking good, probably. 2 lands and a Lotus Petal. Oh no, we are going to in fact keep them. Alright. Yep, taking a point off of the pain land. And draw off of the Portent. Alright, there's a Cabal Therapy. What do we name? Probably Buried Alive would be the best guess. Alright, Lotus Petal probably coming down. Or Polluted Delta. There's another Portent in hand. You know there's a lot of hand interaction. Do you try and hide the relevant spell second card from the top because you draw off the portent, probably.
I'm glad the tiny deck was on camera.
All right, we're doing something here. Probably another portent. Fetching for a swamp. Makes sense. Dark rituals, Cabal rituals, you want to have black open. I think that's 2 lands, and is that another portent? Bit unfortunate. Maybe just shuffling. Yeah, I think at this point, wanting to shuffle makes a lot of sense. See something different other than lands and portents. And Anna having 2 cards in hand, a Lotus Petal and a land, I believe. Not too afraid of that Cabal Therapy yet. And choosing not to play out the petal. Alright, there's a Wall of Blossoms. Sack the Wall of Blossoms to the Cabal Therapy. And naming the Shallow Grave, but the Buried Alive being in there. And will be cast next turn. Alright, we got a Dark Ritual. Oh, sorry, that's a Duress. We got a Duress hitting the Cabal Therapy, and we also have somebody hitting the camera. Alright, there's a Wall of Blossoms. Got a flashback, naming Buried Alive. Interesting. Yeah, I probably would have cast the Buried Alive, but to each their own. Alright, so a Tempting Worm, potentially hitting next turn. Alright, there's a Shallow Grave. Alright, there's a Wither Wretch. Say go. City Brass and pass. Gonna hit 2 cards in the graveyard. Just any 2. Swinging for 2. Wither Wretch is gonna be enough to get the job done, honestly. Ooh, going for broke, playing out the Tempting Worm. I mean, granted, looking closer at Crystal Cloudscaper, there's oh no, we're just gonna scoop, and that's gonna be game number 3. Moze takes it down. All right, so I actually did take the time to read Crystal Cloudscaper, so Moze not in any danger playing that Tempting Worm because Anna could never pay the 2 green on upkeep to keep it around. Sometimes it pays to read the cards. Anyways, great games from both players. Really cool to see Tin Fins do its thing, but in the end, the Toolbox deck had all the answers. If you want to support the channel, make sure to comment below. I think we've done land arts the last couple times, so let's keep that rolling. What is your favorite planes? Now, the Odyssey Lightning Planes is probably the default answer for many people, but I'm actually going to go a little out there. Now, it's not a foil art, which is surprising, but I really like the Mirage Zebra Planes. That art is super cool. I don't know the exact printing or artist off the top of my head, but if you Google Mirage Planes, you'll see it. So yeah, let me know what your favorite planes is down below. It helps YouTube know that you're not a bot and you're a real person watching this video. Also that you made it to the end of the video, which I do greatly appreciate. If you want to support the channel in a financial way, there is a Patreon link in the video description. That money goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses, and just making more Premodern videos. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.